Interview with Ricky Carano, Krebs, Oklahoma,
Box 261.
September 6th, 1984. Okay, Mr. Carano, could you tell us a little about, maybe a little about your family background? Where was your family from in the old country?
That I can't tell you.
They from northern, southern Italy?
My mother's from northern Italy.
Uh-huh. Piedmont?
That's Piemonte.
Piemontes, okay.
My daddy, I don't know where he was from. See, my uncle, he was across just the mountain, but they had a different dialect. Just crossed over the mountain. They just speak it different.
Yeah, yeah. This was your dad's brother?
Mm-hmm.
So he was from the north someplace.
My dad was, he wasn't.
Oh. Okay. Now, why did they come to, or how did they get to Krebs?
My daddy left there when he's 7 years old.
What year was that?
I don't know. His daddy brought him here.
Oh.
His daddy brought him here, and when he's 7 years old, wanted to bring him back. He jumped off the train. He didn't go back. And my daddy, he was an organizer, American Federation of Labor.
Oh.
That's United Mine Workers.
Uh-huh.
And then he owned a pulp factory, the first pulp factory, pool hall, roast store, back in the state of Oklahoma.
Okay, now, what was your dad's name?
John Carano, John Paul.
And how did he get? Did he start out mining?
He started out mining, then he went to be an organizer.
Now, where did he go to? Did he get some training, or where did he operate out of?
No, right here. He had his. He told me when they organized, they'd cut his saddle or he's cut the harness off of his horses to try to stop him from organizing. And that's for statehood. Oklahoma comes statehood in December 1907.
Uh-huh. Now, who was he working for?
He worked for himself.
No, but I mean as an organizer.
United Mine Workers of America.
Was he successful?
Yes, he organized it.
So it did get organized
here.
Yeah,
he did organize it.
Did he ever hold office in the...
No.
And then so he was an organizer, and then what did he do for business?
He went to he had pool hall, factory and grocery store combined.
What did he call it? Did it have a name, or?
Kriner General Store. Yeah.
And did he, now you said he made his own pop?
Yeah.
Here?
Yeah.
And he have they had it in bottles and...
In bottles, but had to wash all the bottles in a vat with a brush at that time.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And then where did he distribute it? Just locally, or?
Just locally.
Just
right
locally.
Around here.
Oh.
Around Pittsburgh County.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Did he deliver it himself, or?
No, they came and got it.
Oh.
Just come to storm get it.
Now, is the building still standing, or is it gone?
No, it burned up.
Oh.
It burned up.
Do you have any pictures of it?
I don't.
So he didn't particularly like mining and got into something that was a little more,
no, he didn't
little
take
safer.
Much for mining.
How did you might have some background since your father was an organizer that way. How did the like the Italians take to mining? Was it a...
It's practically forced on because that's the only thing they ever knew.
And then once they got here, they were sort of stuck. They couldn't leave.
They had to go when they're 14, 15. And then if like my grandpa, he'd be 14, 15 years old, he forced them down to the mine. That's the only way they can make a living.
And did the men consider it dangerous?
It was all dangerous. All mines are dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they had a few big explosions, killed quite a few. But at that time, when after statehood, and then they had a bunch of Germans and Irish people come in here, and that's the only thing they knew. They couldn't read or write, and the only thing they knew was just Daddy said, "Now you go perm, get your pick, and let's go in the coal mines," and that's all they knew.
Mm-hmm.
so they know what to do.
Mm-hmm. Now, we're there like on the street here in front of us. This is what, 2nd Street?
Northwest 2nd Street.
Northwest 2nd. Were most of the people living along here back then Italian?
Yeah, they was living. This house was built before I was born. I was born and raised right up the road, about 300 yards.
Uh-huh. Now, did most of the people, for instance, the people that lived along here, were they all were they all from the same village?
No.
Or from the same area in the old country?
They're from different parts of the old country.
Oh.
Different parts.
Uh-huh.
Different parts.
So you get some Piemontese
Yeah.
and others all living in the same area. Oh.
They were all mixed.
Uh-huh. Now, how many you say Italians were living in Krebs back then?
Well, at that time, I would say, but at that time, for statehood, I'd say about 95% were Italians. In other words, they call this Little Italy.
Uh-huh.
Just on account of the Italians.
Uh-huh.
Then after the Depression days come, they left and they went up in Ohio, the rubber factories and stuff like that.
Oh, to Akron?
Mm-hmm. Akron, Bedford, Youngstown, Cleveland.
Did they go to any other mining areas? Like to Kansas, the coal mines of Kansas?
No. Oh, they had, I was in Pittsburgh County, hell, they had about 40, 50 little dog holes, but they really had some big coal mines. They didn't have to go, like at Wilburton's about 48 miles, they had some big coal mines. They've had some big coal mines here, but then you go off any road, any country lane, you can find a dog hole, and people work in it.
Did any Italians, become operators of coal mines? Did they buy the
No.
land, anything like
No.
that?
No.
They were just owned by larger companies.
What they call the Osage Trading Company. Number 5 Krebs about the biggest, and then number 8. And then they had the explosions. They worked probably 75 to 100 men. But that later time, that was one blew up in 29, one blew up in 30. Little bolted and 4 samples. But one of those mines, you don't know, about 50% was Mexicans when that mine blew up. And then they'd have what they call Columbus Day. That was their big day. That's when they got the slime and the cheese and the beer, and they played Bojo and Mora. And then they played their band.
Uh-huh. Now, the Italian club, there were 2 clubs then in town here.
But you had to be Italian or you couldn't belong to them.
Uh-huh.
See?
So, do you want to name the clubs?
One was the Star of Italy.
Uh-huh. And that had a hall on what street?
Right up the road.
On 2nd.
Just about where that car is.
Uh-huh. Northwest, what is it?
Northwest 2nd Street.
Northwest 2nd.
And this one is the Columbus Club. And we just tore that thing down about 2 years ago. But you see, like when the coal mining went out, they drifted. And right now, I doubt if there's 10 Italian feet. My family lives here now.
Hmm.
How far are you from Hamtramck, Michigan?
Oh, quite a ways.
Quite a
500
ways.
miles, yeah.
I have a brother who lives in Newcastle.
Oh. So then a lot of them went up to Akron, you said, and then Detroit?
Mostly Akron.
Akron.
But the younger ones, they all went from Detroit.
Worked in the automobile industry. I see. And that would have been about, what year did the mines close down here? Things begin
that started from 1928 and 30, going way back.
Mm-hmm. And then the Depression set in, and that really did it. Were they still mining here on a limited scale up till recently, or not?
Oh, no.
No?
They had one little dog hole over here, what's called Homer Slope. Oh, they probably dig a coal car load maybe a day.
Oh.
Probably just 3-4 men working in it.
So things then have really quieted down from the old days.
Oh, yeah.
From what you remember.
Oh, yeah.
Now, how many members would be in these societies?
I'll say between 75 and 100, now, to each society. Now, you could belong to both of them, but a lot of them probably just belong to one.
Mm-hmm.
You could belong to both of them.
And then what did they pay for dues?
About $1.50 a month. About $1.50 a month.
And then what kind of benefits did they get? They get sick and
no,
accident?
they got something out of it, but I don't know.
Uh-huh.
I can't tell you that.
Uh-huh.
But it wasn't much.
And then did it have a death benefit?
Yeah, but I don't know what they paid. And after this here lodge here, I think it's the rules and regulation. If you get below 25 members, you could belong to it. But they would never classify this as a club because, in other words, if you kept your dues up, you'd have to send it someplace else.
Oh.
See? But regardless, if you have a store at Italy here, in Columbus, any place we see in the States, you're entitled to go there.
Oh, so it belonged to a national?
Yeah. You can go to any one of those as long as you belong to it.
Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do they still celebrate Columbus Day, or not?
No. More.
When was the last time they had a celebration?
Been years ago. Been years ago. This one here, I think Columbus has been gone. When they done away with the organization, it's been over 20 years ago.
Uh-huh.
The start of it was longer than that. Many years.
Mm-hmm. Now, you said that the Catholic Church has a little museum, or you've given some material?
I gave him a silver cash register, where he worked some money, a little bocce ball, a little hammer, and a big drum. It's got the big name on it, Columbus Society.
Oh.
It's still on that drum.
Uh-huh.
And you can go for it just any time while they showed it.
Yeah.
And then I think I gave him a couple of those badges. Had some of the hats. I don't know what they done with it. They had their bands and closed everything, and piece by piece, it was gone.
So when you tore the club down, there wasn't anything left except the music.
Only music, only what. So like I said, they're taking cash register and that bocce ball and the drum and a few other little things.
Yeah.
And it's behind the Catholic Church over there.
Uh-huh. So they've maintained a little museum then?
Yeah.
Over there. Do you get people coming back to visit?
Yeah, they come from Ohio, and all those older people's coming back here and retiring.
Oh.
Come back to retire.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's kind of what happens up in Michigan, the same thing.
Yeah.
People return to retire that way.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. It was a bunch of boys from Michigan. One especially from Hamtramck, he's a Polish boy.
Oh, yeah.
I can't find him. I found two of them after 27 years.
Oh.
I found two of them.
Uh-huh.
Two boys from Oklahoma, they were right under my nose all the time.
Now, was there a lot of prejudice against the Italians down here?
Yes.
How did that show up?
Well, they called them Dago son of bitches.
And this would be who would be doing the calling?
Well, just what you call the average American.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So when you'd go to McAllister, or you'd leave Krebs here, you'd run into that then?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Did they have any?
Then they call them WAPs. You know the reason why they call them WAPs?
No.
Never read history on it?
No, I want to hear your...
It's W-O-P. Without papers. See, they come from the old country without papers.
Yeah, okay.
And they didn't know where the hell they was going.
Yeah, okay. But was there any, did the Ku Klux Klan ever give them trouble or burn crosses or anything?
No. They burned crosses, but not on kind of the Italian people.
Oh. So they didn't have any violence?
No,
just,
no violence.
Prejudice. Did it show up in any other ways? They wouldn't serve them in stores or anything?
Oh, no. Oh, hell, if they wouldn't serve them in stores, well, they wouldn't have no business. See, like I said, 95% this time was Italians. If they didn't serve them. Oh, hell, they about 15, 20 stores. I can count 15, 20. Hell, there's one right there, one over there. And they had these, only thing they sold carbide lamps, carbide, and cover hauls. The man used to work for down in the mines, shoes, and like beans and coffee and stuff like that. Then they had a company store here that if you worked for the company store, they paid you in script. Well, you had to go to that company store. That's the way they paid you off, in script, until they got organized and they went the other way with it.
Oh, then they wouldn't be paid in script.
No.
No. Did the what was the name of the company store?
Osage Trading Company.
Oh, that was the Osage Trading Company. Was there a lot of shady activity there where they wouldn't pay them properly or cheat them? And
I've just only thing I just heard about it. I would say yes. I would say yes. They put your tag on when your car come up to the tip full line where you tagged it. Hell, same as over them old time people, they didn't know how many cars went out. You probably sent 8, probably got credit for 3.
Now, did the Italians around here keep large gardens?
Oh yeah, and every one of them had large gardens, and they made their beer, sausage, raised their own hogs, butchered them, put sausage under lard. Everyone had a cellar. At those days, every house had a well. That's the only way they got their water. One right there under that tree, pretty deep.
Oh.
I remember that tree wasn't big as that.
Oh.
72 years is a long time to be living on one tree. In other words, I'm getting to be the old timer. The other one's already dead. There's a few. One celebrated a 100th birthday here right across the street up there.
Oh, my word.
But this woman, I can tell you, I'm pretty sure she got pictures, and I know where her brother's got, because he had them in the drugstore. And see where a lot of these pictures got away. They had these cameras that pulled the black cloth off and snap them. Well, they come along and say, well, we'll take these pictures back. Hell, they didn't see them anymore.
Oh.
And they kept them, run off and kept them. Now them pictures are valuable.
Yeah. So, did the Italians make wine down here?
Yes, and they made the chunk beer.
More of the beer than the wine?
Yeah.
Now, how did they make...
This town is noted for its chalk beer and its eating joints.
Now, how did they make the chalk beer?
Malt, hops, and sugar. You could get it if you tried real hard. Every house, if you tried real hard, you even got it to church at that time. That's true. It's true. But they all had cellars, and everyone had their beer.
And they used it for their home use, and then they sold it.
Then they sold it, yes.
Now, did that help them out when the mines were closed, then?
Oh, yeah, that's where they made a living. That's where they made a living.
Now, were any of them ever caught? Did they run into problems?
Yeah, they got caught. They put time in jail.
Right in town here?
Right over here. Sometimes in Skokie. That's federal.
Oh.
But now, I doubt if ain't but about a couple of places that makes it.
Well, I guess now you can make beer.
I don't think so. Some they tell me they do, but I just.
Oh, maybe not in Oklahoma. Oh. Yeah. Okay. So how many gallons would a person make average?
He make anywhere from 20 to 30
per
family.
Per brew.
Yeah. And those times they didn't have an ice box, and they put them in a fruit jar, and they just tied a rope and put it down the well.
And this was carbonated, though. The beer.
It's made out of it's made out of dry malt and dry hops.
Oh, so it wasn't carbonated. It just had the kick to it.
The kick goes according to how much sugar we put into it.
Yeah.
On the average, run about 4%.
Oh my God.
That's getting pretty rough.
Yeah. Now, did the families take in boarders?
Some did. Some did. And they wasn't paid very much. I doubt if they got $3 a month. Because they wasn't making nothing coal mines no how.
Yeah.
In other words, they were human jackasses. That's what they used them for.
How much did they make, or what was the rate supposed to be?
Hell, I couldn't. It could have been over down 75 cents a ton.
Oh. Now, how long would it take to dig a ton out?
Well, I don't know that. See, it used to be the man had to put his own shots in. He drilled, put his own shots, and then later on they had a shot farm, and you just drilled your shots, and you put your powder in. Shot farming come that night and put the powder, the shot down. The only thing you have to do in the mine, and coal is down, is you laid your track down, pull your car up, and you loaded it.
Oh, you had to lay your own track.
Yeah. And they done just that with the tool forks, see, because you had to just keep on moving them on right on down.
So you didn't get paid for putting the track in?
No, you just got paid. The tonnage to come out of there.
Tonnage came
Then
in.
sometime they got later on where they pay you not very much. What's a gobbin rock? They didn't pay for rock, but you threw down to the side.
So this is quite a quiet place today from what it used to be.
This town is known around the world on kind of Choctaw beer, it's Italian sausage, it's cheese, and it's eating joints. Ambassadors and everything all come over here. See, it's known. There are a lot of people said we don't know where McAllister is, but we know where Krebs is at.
So this has been quite a tradition that's been around for a while.
Yes.
Yeah.
You go any state and say, well, just mention Krebs. They don't know. They say, is that where them damn Dagos live? And that's what they say right off the bat.
Now, did the, going out of town a bit, did any of the Italians get into farming or ranching?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, eventually when they got a chance to buy a lot or a piece of land, they went up there, but not too many of them. Not too many of them.
Are there any that are still in that business today, ranching?
Not the old people.
No, but I mean their children
Yeah.
or something. Who are some of the families?
Yeah,
and where?
the Silver Boys, Kestas.
How do you spell that?
Testa.
Just T-E-S-T-A.
S-L-I-V-A. Yeah, they're here.
Is there a fellow down in Pittsburgh that has a ranch down there, do you know?
Yeah, but he dead.
Yeah, he died, but his sons have it.
His name is Kelly.
Kelly?
Mm-hmm.
Italian.
Yeah. Pittsburgh, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
They call him Pete Kelly.
So there weren't too many that got into that then?
No. The only thing they knew was mines. Then when the mines went down, they went east.
Do you know of any of these Italians that came from other mining areas to here?
No.
And then some of them did leave here and go to other... Did they leave here and go to other coal mining areas?
Not if I know of.
Uh-huh.
I don't think I know they went to work in the factories.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, that's where the money would really be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then in the old days, everybody would be out in the streets here talking Italian,
Yeah.
pretty much.
That's the only thing they knew.
Yeah. Did you learn Italian, or?
No, I didn't learn it.
Uh-huh.
Never did.
What, your father didn't speak it, or?
My mother spoke to us in Italian, we answered back in English.
Was that something your father wanted, or
No.
just the way things went?
That's just the way it went. Because the Italian people be sitting around the bar and they said, well, we know the Italian language, we want to know English, see? And they want to speak to them in English. They already knew Italian.
Yeah. Oh. Now, how did do you ever remember any of the old immigrants talking about when they first arrived, what they thought of the land and the environment? They ever mention that?
They didn't know anything. They just wanted to know where can we get a job. They didn't even know what's coming. I don't even know how far they got from they got off New York. I don't know how they got this far.
Yeah.
Because this was all coal mining. That's all they knew.
Mm-hmm. So I guess a lot of it was by word of mouth then? Somebody
Yeah.
would write back, or somebody would go back?
What you got here.
Mm-hmm. Were they relatively happy when they were living here, or glad to leave when they got a chance?
Well, I don't think I know over one or two that left and went back to the old country. He made his fortune and right back to us.
Oh, so there were a lot of them that went back.
No.
I mean, the state. A few.
Just a few.
Yeah. Or if they left, they went up north. I mean, to some other
They
areas.
caught the boat and they went back to Italy.
Those.
Yeah, the one that made their fortune that went back.
Oh, I see. And the rest stayed and kept working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then on the 16th day of July, they'd have big blowouts. That was Caramo Day. They'd have barbecue. They'd cook it in ditches, handle it with a pitchfork, and have all the beer and wine, whiskey they want, and at night, big fireworks.
Oh.
And that went on for years and years until the mine shut down, and that was it.
Uh-huh. Now, has that been revived?
No. The last one they had was here, last 16th.
Oh. So they do have a bit of a celebration.
Small one.
Small one. Oh. Okay. That's about what I wanted to get here. Thank you.